welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining me today and hope you guys are doing well and peace be upon you all. So, today, what I wanted to talk about is something that I'm very excited about, and that is the upcoming 2025 NFL season. And specifically, I want to talk about each team or most of the teams and just kind of go over some of the major storylines and headlines going into next season, and what I'm excited about to see in each team, and just kind of what I think each team is going to do this season. So very exciting if you're a football fan. So before we do jump into that, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. All right, let's go ahead and talk NFL. All right, let's go ahead and start with the AFC East. And first, we'll talk about the Buffalo Bills. So we got Josh Allen running it back. I'm definitely excited about that to see what he looks like this season, if he's still in MVP form. Their running back, James Cook, I think he's holding out. He wants a new contract. So that'll be interesting to watch. I'm sure they're going to get that done before the NFL season starts. So, I mean, my expectations are that the Buffalo Bills will be very good, just like they have been really since Josh Allen took over as the quarterback. And I think, they'll be right up there with Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. Um, we'll see if they can get over the hump over the Ravens and the Chiefs. So that's pretty much the storyline every year. They play good in the regular season, also in the playoffs, but when they match up with the Ravens and or the Chiefs, it seems like they can't jump that hurdle. So definitely excited to see Josh Allen and the team play. Um, I think pretty much the same thing is going to happen like before. I think they're going to be a very, very good team, but I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens and the Chiefs are better, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one or two AFC teams that surprise this year and are better than the Bills. But still excited to see them, and I think in the AFC East they should win the division since they're the best team, but we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. All right, so the next team in the AFC East is the Miami Dolphins. So there's really not a lot of headlines on them. So Tua Tagovailoa is going to be running it back as their quarterback. They had some issues last year where Tyreek Hill kind of hinted that he wanted to be traded from the team. So that kind of caused some drama with the team, but he's still on the roster and he's going to be playing for them. So they kind of are working on mending that relationship with Tua and Tyreek after, what happened last year. So I'm sure, they'll play well together. I mean, the Dolphins are, they're solid each year, but they're not really a serious team for the Super Bowl. They're just kind of flashy and exciting to watch with, Tyreek Hill with his speed, and with Tua, as a lefty. They're kind of like a pretty team, but when it actually matters in the playoffs, um, I don't take them seriously. I just kind of expect them to be a solid team. So we'll see what happens with the Dolphins. So the next team in the AFC East is the New England Patriots. So their second year quarterback, Drake May, is expected to have a very good sophomore season. People are expecting him to play really well and potentially, get the Patriots into the playoffs. So I'm kind of excited to see a little bit more of his game this season. I didn't really watch much of it last season when he was a rookie, but I'll definitely watch some games of his, and we'll see if the Patriots are going to be serious again. And the next team in the AFC East is the New York Jets. So we know what happened the last 2 years with Aaron Rodgers, very disappointing. And we'll see what the team looks like this season. So they have a new quarterback, Justin Fields. You know, I like his mobility and running game, but as far as his throwing game, it's not, or passing game, it's not the best. So, I mean, I think the Jets are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this season. So, there's pretty much not much more to talk about there. So, the next division we're going to talk about is the AFC North. So, this is the division that I'm most excited about. So, the teams in this division are Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers. So we got some good teams to talk about here. So Baltimore Ravens should be one of the favorites for the Super Bowl along with the Kansas City Chiefs. So with their electric quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and they also have a very good defense every year. They have Derrick Henry as the running back, so this team should run literally over all the teams in the NFL, very similar to last season. So I think the Ravens again are going to have an amazing regular season, amazing playoffs, but we'll see if they can beat the Bills and or the Chiefs in the playoffs. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl this season. It seems like he pretty much has accomplished everything else with his MVPs, and his running game and everything is he just needs a Super Bowl win. So I think there's a lot of pressure on him to get it done this season. And I think they have a very good chance. They added DeAndre Hopkins as the wide receiver. So they're going to be one of the best teams, if not the best team. The next one is the Cincinnati Bengals. So we got Joe Burrow, quarterback, Jamar Chase, wide receiver. So they should be very, very good offensively, like they are pretty much every season. Also, on their defensive end, that's kind of where they struggle. Um, Trey Hendrickson, one of their best defensive players, has been holding out. So we'll see what happens there. I'm sure they'll get that done. So the Cincinnati Bengals should be very good, but their defense is questionable. So, and they missed the playoffs last season. So we'll see what happens this time around. All right, the next team is the Cleveland Browns, which I'm also very excited about watching, even though I don't expect them to be that good. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see what happens with their quarterback situation. I think Joe Flacco might start the season, but as soon as there's some kind of, you know, problems or lack of performance, I definitely want to see Shador Sanders put in as the quarterback. Um, I think that'll be like a must see game. I'll definitely be watching to that. So, but I don't expect them to be very good. But I'm just specifically excited about Shador Sanders being a starter at some point of the season. All right, and the next team is the team that I'm going to be rooting for this season. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we all know that Aaron Rodgers is their new quarterback. They acquired also DK Metcalf as the wide receiver. On defense, they signed TJ Watt and they added a couple other defensive players like Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay. So I think the Steelers might be a surprise team this season. I wouldn't be surprised personally if they were better than the Bengals this season in their own division. So I'm definitely bullish on the Steelers. Their defense should be one of the best, if not the best. And their offense, they just need to be solid and good. And they should be with Aaron Rodgers spinning the ball. So I'm so excited about watching the Steelers. Can't wait to watch the first game. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this season. So the next division we're going to talk about is the AFC South, which includes Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans. So, as far as the Houston Texans, I mean, I'm interested to see if CJ Stroud has a bounce back season. So, he had one of the best rookie seasons, but then last year he kind of took a step backwards. He wasn't as good. So now this is his third season. So I'm just interested to see if he plays like, the rookie season or the sophomore season. So that'll be cool to watch. As far as the Indianapolis Colts, not much really on them. Just kind of want to see if Anthony Richardson is actually like a starting level quarterback in the NFL. So that's something I'll keep an eye on. So the next team is pretty exciting. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm definitely very interested in watching them this season. So Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of had a little bit of a disappointing career so far. He's had some good moments, but he's also had some very bad moments, specifically with fumbling the football and just not playing well, like in big moments. So I'm definitely, a Trevor Lawrence fan and a Jags fan. So I'm hoping that he has a really, really good season, that he also uses his legs when needed to escape or also just run. And I think he'll have a very good season with his new coach, Liam Cohen. So I'm excited about that. And also the Jags, they got the versatile rookie Travis Hunter. So he's going to be playing on offense and on defense, wide receiver and defensive back. So that'll be pretty cool to watch to see if he actually plays full time on both sides of the football. So that's kind of the plan, that he's going to play on both sides. So we'll see if that is the case. I'm curious to see if he's actually better as a defensive back or as a wide receiver, or if he's similar in both positions. So I think the Jags are very exciting to watch this season. And the Tennessee Titans, I don't. They're not going to be good this season, but they had the number one overall pick in Cam Ward, quarterback. So it'll just be interesting to watch him during the season to see, if he's going to have a very good rookie season like C.J. Stroud, um, or if he's going to struggle in his rookie season. So that's pretty much the AFC South. All right, so next we're going to talk about the AFC West, where we have the Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, and Los Angeles Chargers. So Denver Broncos, they'll be interesting to watch with their quarterback Bo Nix and also their head coach Sean Payton. We'll see if they are a good fit together and if they make some noise this season. They're supposed to have one of the best defenses in the NFL, so we'll we'll see what the Denver Broncos look like this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a lot better than people think. Um, so we'll see what the Denver Broncos do. The next team is the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelsey is back. So, I mean, it's the same old Chiefs. They're going to be very, very good during the regular season, also in the playoffs. And we'll see if one of the other teams, like the Ravens or Bills, can knock them off in the playoffs or somebody else potentially. But I doubt that. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. And they should be in the Super Bowl if they do what they need to do. So same old Chiefs, and we'll see if Patrick Mahomes, if his play is better this season, like if he's MVP level, because the last couple of years he hasn't been in the MVP conversation, even though his team has been winning. So we'll see this season if his numbers are better and plays better, and he's potentially like a MVP candidate again. So that'll be cool to watch. And Las Vegas Raiders, they have a new quarterback, Geno Smith. We'll see how they play. And the Chargers, they have a very good quarterback, Justin Herbert. And we'll see if the Chargers actually make some noise in the playoffs. Seems like every season they're very good and they make the playoffs, but they don't really make any noise in the playoffs. So, all right. So that wraps up the AFC. And next, we'll take a look at the NFC. All right. So next, we're going to take a look at the NFC East. So in that division, we have the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington Commanders. So we got some good teams here to talk about. So what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys? So Dak Prescott, he's going to be running it back with the Cowboys. He's going to have CeeDee Lamb. So their offense is going to be good pretty much like every season. On the defensive end, Micah Parsons still has not been signed or his contract hasn't been renegotiated and he's requested a trade. But I'm sure they're going to get that done and keep Micah Parsons. So there should be no issues there. So as far as the Cowboys, honestly, I don't take them seriously. Like every year, it seems like they're like a solid, good team. Um, 9-8, 10-7 on the season. They might make the playoffs, might not, but they're not like one of the elite teams in the NFL or NFC. So they're just kind of middle of the road team in my opinion. So that's pretty much on the Cowboys. So next, the New York Giants. So for the New York Giants, I really don't follow them much. I don't expect them to be very good this season. I think their starting quarterback is going to be Russell Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so they should be towards the bottom as far as standings. So we got the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, receiver. So I mean, I think the Eagles are very similar to last season. Their offense is going to be very good with those three guys. Defense is going to be very good. So I don't think much has changed with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're the best team in the NFC. So we'll see if they prove that this upcoming season. And the next team is the Washington Commanders. So their rookie quarterback last season, Daniels, had one of the best rookie seasons ever. We'll see what he looks like this season around. If he has a little bit of a sophomore slump, or if he's even better. And their wide receiver Terry McLaurin, I think he has also some contract issues. So I'm sure they're going to take care of that and that he'll be on the team. So I think the Washington Commanders have a really good chance to go go toe to toe with the Philadelphia Eagles in the division and just in the NFC in general. So we'll see if they're the two best teams in the NFC. All right, so next we have the NFC North. And in this division, we have the Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Minnesota Vikings. So some very good teams here as well. Chicago Bears, I'm definitely excited about watching them. I want to see if Caleb Williams will be a lot better in his second season compared to his rookie season. I think, I mean, he should take a huge step forward, but he does have a new coach in Ben Johnson. So he's had a lot to learn as far as like new system and plays and things like that. So even though I expect Caleb to play well this season compared to last season, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually struggles to start with and if the Bears are actually not that good this season. So we'll see what the Bears look like. We'll definitely watch some games and see how Caleb is playing. So next we have the Detroit Lions. So pretty much, I think, similar team from last season. Jared Goff is the quarterback, so this should be very solid. I think both of their coordinators, their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, and it was Ben Johnson. So both of them went to new jobs as head coaches. So they have new offensive and defensive coordinators. So I think the Detroit Lions might take a little step back this season. Um, I wouldn't be surprised at that. And we'll see how Jared Goff plays. If he has good protection, he plays well. But if he doesn't have good protection, he he struggles a lot. So we'll see what the Lions look like. The Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love is going to be running it back. And as far as Jordan Love, I'm not as high on him as some other people are. I mean, I think he's a solid, good quarterback, but sometimes when people talk about him, they talk about him like he's one of the best in the league or like that he's in the MVP conversation. I don't see him like that, um, so far, but we'll see if that changes. And we'll see what the Packers look like this season and see if they can make some noise in the NFC North. So Minnesota Vikings, they have a new quarterback, JJ McCarthy. So we'll see if he's any good. He's supposed to be, just based on footage so far and you know training camp and things like that. So we'll see what JJ McCarthy looks like in live action, and we'll see if the Vikings should have kept Sam Darnold or if they made the right decision by going with JJ McCarthy. So that's the NFC North. All right, guys. So the next division is a little boring just because the teams are not that good or not supposed to be that good. But it's the NFC South, which includes Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So for the Falcons, I'm not sure who's going to be their starting quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. or Kirk Cousins. But I don't expect too much from the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, but we'll see. Carolina Panthers, I am kind of interested in watching them just to see if the quarterback, Bryce Young, if he plays better this season compared to last season. So he struggled a lot last year. So we'll see what he looks like this season. I'm hoping he plays better. He was the number one overall pick in the draft. So the next team is the New Orleans Saints. Don't really have much to say about them. I'm not even really sure who's going to be their starting quarterback. So the Saints should be one of the worst teams this season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I expect another very good season from them. Very solid. Baker Mayfield, very solid. Mike Evans, the wide receiver, very good. Defense is solid. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are pretty much good every season. It seems like they make the playoffs, but they don't make too much noise in the playoffs. So I don't consider them a Super Bowl contender. Um, but we'll see if they possibly pop this season and maybe make some more noise in the playoffs. All right. So the last and final division we're going to take a look at is the NFC West, which includes the Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, and Seattle Seahawks. So for the Arizona Cardinals, um, I don't really follow them that much. Um, they have Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback. He's been kind of disappointing. So we'll see if this is his last season with the Cardinals. If he has a bad season or a good season, he's kind of on the hot seat. So we'll see if Kyler Murray plays well and he's possibly on a different team by next season. All right, so for the Los Angeles Rams, I'm definitely a Rams fan. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching Matt Stafford. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he's still underrated. Um, he's got some good receivers. He's now got Devontae Adams as well. So the Rams should have a very good offense. And I'm sure their defense is going to be solid as well. So I think, the Rams are one of the best teams in the NFC, along with the Eagles and the Washington Commanders, I would say. So we'll be watching the Rams for sure. All right, the next team is the San Francisco 49ers. So they had a very disappointing season last year. So we'll see if they're one of those teams that like flips from one year to the next. So Brock Purdy, we'll see how he plays this season, and we'll see if they get back to their to the level they were at in previous seasons. Um, Also, their running back Christian McCaffrey should be back this season, so their running game should be very, very, very good this season. So I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to have a very good season this year. And the final team is the Seattle Seahawks. Um, so with the Seahawks, I think their starting quarterback is going to be Sam Darnold. So, I don't really expect much from the Seahawks. Um, Honestly, I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So we'll see how Sam Darnold plays with the new team, but not much to expect from the Seattle Seahawks. All right, guys. So we took a look at and talked about all 32 teams in the NFL and just kind of what I'm looking forward to seeing in this upcoming season. I will be rooting for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's who I'm going with this season. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but that's who I'm going to be rooting for. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. So I was a Packers fan and then a Jets fan. So now I'm a new Steelers fan, and we'll see how all the teams do. I think the Chiefs are still the favorites in the AFC, but we still got the Bills, the Ravens, and we'll see if there's some surprise teams. And then on the NFC side, I think the Eagles are still the favorite, but we'll see what the Washington Commanders, the Rams, the 49ers look like. So, very excited about the upcoming NFL season and can't wait to watch the games. If you guys enjoyed this content, again, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care, everyone.